What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Okay, here we are. Here we are sitting at about $2.50 to start off the day. We have 20 hours, 25 minutes left in the day. It is the 5th of March, according to the charts. For most people in the Western Hemisphere, it is still the 4th. I'm aware of that. But the way that the charts start off, it technically is the 5th. This is the 5th of March right now. Kicking off the month in a really volatile kind of fashion. Overall, I suppose, yeah, you are up. I mean, this month already, you're up 16%, though it might not feel like it with this recent volatility. It might feel like you're just back where you began, but no, you're up, man. You're definitely looking good. I want to talk about this real quick because I know a lot of people are getting upset. It seems to be this fad in the markets right now. It's like it's not even an original thought, or maybe it is, and everybody's just thinking the same way. It definitely feels like herd mentality. But I want to address this thing. I posted this here that this guy Gordon, he's the one that posted it, but I was just agreeing here. The market is manipulated. You can cry about it, or you can learn how to play the game. Simple as that. And then Pretzi Cat said, very true. Yeah, no, very, very true, man. Genuinely, the market is manipulated. It always is. This isn't new. This isn't exclusive to crypto. People with larger amounts of money manipulate the markets in efforts to liquidate and money grab from the lower amounts of money people, from the masses, right? And if you learn how to ride the waves with these manipulators, you too will make money. If you don't know anything about it and you just bite into the manipulation and you read the media articles and you panic sell at the worst time because that's when the media is the loudest about the negative stuff. If you panic buy at the worst time because that's when the media is the loudest about the positive stuff, you're gonna get wrecked. Okay, you are gonna get wrecked. But if you learn, you can avoid that. And the best way to learn, at least what I found, is you shouldn't, and if you don't believe what I'm about to say, you will in time. You will in time. It just takes time. Everybody sees it inevitably. And this is how you actually can normally tell beginners from people who have experience. Beginners oftentimes weigh very heavy on media narratives. They very much do. Anytime you talk about the price going up, they'll be the loudest in the comments saying, well, what about this? What about this? It can't go up because of this reason and all this reason because I read it on CNN or ABC News or I read it on a Google article. It's like, dude, the media is not there to help you. Anybody that knows what they're doing, they don't care about the media. And the longer that you do this stuff, the more experience you have, the less you'll care about it too. You'll see negative news come out the same way I did yesterday when we were at the lows, and you'll be like, this is time to buy. You'll see positive news come out, and you might be like, hold up now, like I did at the high, and say, hey, you might want to wait to buy. I didn't think that it would go this low. I don't remember, to be actually completely fair. I might have mentioned, if I was to think that it was to go low, as far as the XRP price, I might have mentioned that $2.32. I remember saying that $2 was a possible area, but I wasn't counting on it. I don't know if I don't think I called $2.21 to happen, but who cares about being right or wrong? I'm just saying, when you learn how to play the game, the market manipulation is not so much an annoying thing. It's just a way. It's just the way that it is, right? And it's always going to be that way. We have money involved, you guys. We have a lot of money involved. And now XRP has politicians involved. You're telling me there's going to be no market manipulation? You're telling me you're pissed off because of it? You're going to have to get out. This is the wrong crypto. This is the wrong coin for you to invest in. I'm just saying. And that doesn't mean that it's going to be manipulated in a bad way. I think it's going to be manipulated in a good way, to the upside. But what is manipulation at the end of the day? Like insider trading, okay, that a little bit to a certain degree, I could agree, but really that's actually just front running, to be completely fair. What is manipulation? Someone with a big bag buying or selling? Okay, well, what do they do if they've got a lot of money and they want to get in or they want to get out? There's all kinds of manipulation. It's just people at the level of anybody who's got like less than like $100 million, right, to their name. We can't manipulate the markets, at least not with something this big. That's why meme coins went so crazy. That's why meme coins have such a phenomenal time, is because they start off at these low market caps, and anybody with any kind of, like, if you have $30,000 to your name, you're able to manipulate these markets, let alone if you have more money than that, right? I'm digressing. I'm getting away from the point, but if you're complaining about manipulation, you can keep crying about it. As this, I like this. You can cry about it, or you can learn how to play the game. Let's move on. Let's talk about this, okay? 4-hour time frame. We are finding support at the 40 area right now. Looking very bullish on our 4-hour RSI, actually. Higher lows, got overbought. You're not getting oversold. This is phenomenal. If you took out this very like very crazy volatility, and we just bridged it with some standard price action, you're actually in a nice upward sloping move. If you took out this blemish, it's actually not that bad. A little manipulation, sure, a little bit of wave riding there. For anybody that bought here and sold up here, you killed it. Anybody that bought up here and then sold down here, you are exactly the target of manipulation. And you should learn from that, not be upset about it. If you're upset, if you get upset about a problem, you're not going to, I don't know if that's right, but if all you do is cry about a problem, you're not going to focus on how you can fix it or how you can learn from it. You should focus on how you can learn from it, okay? Especially if it's something that you are not in control of. From a high to a low of this overall consolidation phase, what we've seen so far right there was a 786 tip rejection. Generally speaking, with 786 rejections, if you get below the golden ratio, you see a move that'll take you down to the 236. If not, the 382 at a bare minimum. We found support at the 382. We're back above the 0.5. I don't believe we're going to the 236. I don't anticipate that at all. $2.08, that's not my expectation. I think this was the low. I really do. And I believe that we're working our way up higher. Now, we're probably not going to move at this pace. Okay, that was a really bad call I made at the top. I don't know if I made it at the top. I know I said we were going to go down and then probably come back up. I thought we would continue this pace because that was some really bullish news. But even me still, I made it bad. Let's go over that right now. XRP. Let's just type it in. XRP. Come on now. XRP. Why is it? Oh no, it froze on me. Well, I'm okay. XRPP. Come on now. XRP all-time highs tomorrow, and that was on March 3rd, right? And it definitely did not happen. So I'm not trying to pretend like I'm perfect here. Nobody is. But I do believe that inevitably we are on our way to new all-time highs. We're at $2.50 now. I very much believe that you're fine, XRP. You're not going to go lower. You found support at prior areas of support here, right at the 382. It's fine. It's totally perfect. If we look at this relative low on a daily basis to the relative high, you can see that what you did was you also found support right in the golden ratio. The 61869 zone, you wicked to the 69. It's not just a funny number. It's actually something that we interact with pretty well, and you closed perfectly at the golden ratio. Now what you're doing is something that's very iconic with moving down lower. If you find support at the golden ratio, you find resistance at the 382, and then you go back below the golden ratio, you oftentimes do go lower. But the 4-hour RSI begs to differ. It actually looks rather bullish in my opinion. And again, overall, if we took out this blemish, it would kind of look like a very bullish uptrend right here. So what my thoughts are is that as long as you're above $2.30 XRP, you are go for targets at 270 and beyond. When you get above, just like this at 230 here, I don't know what's going on with the camera. When you get above 230, or if you go below 230, you're likely going to see lower targets than this low here. That doesn't mean lower targets than this low, but it just means lower targets than that. Maybe 213, $2.05. That could happen. Let's be real. It could happen. I'm not expecting it to happen, but it could happen if you close a 4-hour period below $2.30. If you don't close below 230, if you wick down there and then you close back above it, that would actually be a really good look. You'd have a relative double bottom in the golden ratio, and that would set you up for a move that's higher than this. If you get above the 236, and not just get above, but you have to close above $2.70.7, let's just say $2.71. If you can close above that on a 2 4-hour basis, 4-hour candles, right? 2 of them in a row, then likely you're done moving lower. Likely you will see higher prices than this, and your primary target after moving up from here would be anything from about $3.25 to $3.61. And those targets, if we look at this on a grand scale, could give you new all-time highs. So if you're going to see new all-time highs potentially, I think it's worth actually taking this fib from a high to a low and basing it off of these extensions as far as price expectations goes, right? The 1272 or the 2272 lines up very well with the 1414. The 3618 lining up at the very top of this zone here. Once we start getting higher, these kind of fibs, they don't really have relevance. I just have them on there in case we ever see some kind of crazy stuff just for fun. Or sometimes very short-term time frames can be useful with those, but longer-term time frames like this oftentimes aren't useful. But I anticipate that when we see new all-time highs for XRP, we will immediately run to prices that are above $4. Probably even we'll just skip $4 altogether and run up to $5. I do anticipate XRP is on its way. It's on a war path, you guys. You're literally XRP army for a reason. You're on a war path to $11 to $13, the money zone up here. That's what you're doing. But you probably have pit stops along the way. You probably pillage some villages along the way if this is your warpath, right? And just to keep it up with the analogy, I would expect that the 1618, the $5 area, might provide some resistance. I would expect then that you either pull back to the 1272, which is pretty common to do in strong moves, or also common to do, you pull back to the 100 or the 886, essentially back testing prior areas of resistance for support and then continuing onward, okay? Likely you're not going to move up in just a straight line all the way to this area, but I would anticipate that you do work your way up there, finding resistance at key areas along the way, okay? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I am expecting XRP to do some rather miraculous things on the simple premise that you're about to see new all-time highs, a breakout of a price action or of a price area that you haven't seen for multiple cycles, right? You have broken out of this trend. This trend here, or this consolidation phase, it was a symmetrical triangle. Higher lows, lower highs, the whole shebang. That was a very bullish breakout, and now you're consolidating after the breakout. Oftentimes, this implies continuation. I would expect that you could either see a move of a similar magnitude to this, right? A move of a similar magnitude, or something that's bigger. If we were to do a similar magnitude from that low there, that would put you at about 11 bucks. If it were to be bigger, you could go to 13 bucks. You could go somewhere in between, right? Something like that. But of course, it could be smaller too. $11, you know, if you were to see a move of a similar magnitude, it doesn't mean it has to be bigger. It has to be the same. It could be smaller too. So if you take that all-time high, or the previous all-time high, now your technical all-time high is over here in January, to the low of this consolidation phase, the minimum target, which is just below a move of a similar magnitude, would be at about $8.37. A move that's just above it would be $13.56, which just well encapsulates this area, the 1414 and the 1272, the kind of early target areas in this primary target zone. It makes a lot of sense to me. Oftentimes with the 1414, you do wick just above it if you are to hit that. So keep that in mind. It's possible you could go higher, but I don't think you do. And I say oftentimes, it's like 60% of the time. There are times where you do wick right to the 1414 and then you come back down from it. But this is kind of the war path, the price path expectations that I have for XRP over the next 2 months, probably by the end of April, if not earlier. It could happen earlier. But I would expect the end of April to provide these targets, and certainly by the end of March, we will be at new all-time highs, likely above $5, if not having interacted at least with that area by the end of March. Okay, I want to be clear that the speed that we were expecting 2 days ago, that's gone now. I think it would be more appropriate, instead of expecting something like this to happen again or something like this to happen again, I think it would be more appropriate to act like it never happened. As wrong as that might sound to some people, act like it never happened and just kind of connect the dots. Act like you're on a solid path like that and you're moving up at that pace, right? So something at that pace later this month, probably midway through the month, we break out to new all-time highs. Later in the month, we'd be reaching for that $4 to $5 zone. Consolidate maybe a little bit there, and then by the end of April, we see that next phase up. Month after month, we're going to grow, and it doesn't stop there. XRP has a lot of growth to do by the end of the cycle, you guys. I very much do believe, and I want to hit on that real quick. I very much do believe that XRP will be worth over $20 by the end of the cycle, if not, at least somewhere around there. But let's see, high to low. I mean, $27 is the golden ratio. I really think that's where you're going to go. And somebody, bro, I would give you a shout out if I remembered who it was. Somebody made a really good point that XRP being in the crypto reserve would suggest that we could see higher prices than we expect, right? I was saying $27 to $40 was my expectation, unless we got into the crypto reserve. Maybe then we could talk about a $67 price. But this guy said that would be a good point, except for the fact that XRP isn't the only crypto in the crypto reserve. There's other ones. And I'm like, you know what? That's a valid point too, actually. That's a really good point. Whoever you are in the comments, you know who you are. I'd give you a shout out, man, but I didn't write your name down, damn it. I wish I did. Did I? No, I didn't. I didn't write your name down. I was in my car whenever I read those comments. I should have. I like to give people shout outs. I like to give people credit whenever they make a good point. That's a really good point. There are other crypto reserves. There are other cryptos in this crypto reserve which would take a little bit of attention away from XRP, right? So perhaps it doesn't have this crazy potential. I mean, going from 248 to 27 is already crazy, let alone 40. But I really do think you could hit 67 cents or $67 if with this crypto reserve status. That's what I was saying in yesterday's video. But with that point, it makes me think a little bit more that maybe we had it right the first time at about 40 to 30 bucks. Something tells me that the people who were held down largely below $1 for most of their time investing in XRP. Something tells me you guys are going to be completely fine with prices that are at $13, let alone at $27 and beyond, right? So I'm sure nobody's feelings are hurt at the notion that 67 might not be a possibility. But here's another point that I'd like to make. The United States might have several cryptos in the strategic crypto reserve, but if XRP is on that list, while that attention might be taken away from the United States crypto reserve, it is going to add attention to XRP through means of other crypto reserves in other nation states, other institutional investors and big players with money who might see this as a viable investment opportunity for XRP before it becomes a kind of, before there's like an arms race for it. So while I might consider that we really do not see prices above $40, that might be the highest expectation that I would have by the end of the cycle. I am still open to the idea that XRP could really blow people away. We don't know what it could do by the end of the cycle. I'm not saying $67 or $99 is going to happen. I'm not saying that's going to happen. That's not my expectation. As of now, I really do expect something closer to $30, $40 by the end of the cycle. But we'll see how it goes, okay? Hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for watching. Jose, I love you. You're the man. Seriously, Jose's the man. If you guys don't know, Jose knows. He's the man. And some people say, no way, Jose. I'm like, all the way, Jose. You're the man, bro. I just wanted to say a little shout out for you, man. That really put me in a good mood, man, the talk that we had. So thank you very much. Anyways, take care. Bye-bye.